Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the tavern. It's so good to see you all. Let's see, who all do we have in? We have Erin, we have Bobby, we have Matty, we have Frost. Seems like that's everyone. Oh, Court is in. Hello. Good evening. We have Marcus. Thank you for keeping the hearth warm and the stories and myths alive. Much appreciated. It is a pleasure and privilege to do so, Marcus. Thank you for your kind patronage to the tavern. It means the world. Seamus Carr says, "What rare fortune is this? You have stumbled into a tavern at the end of the world, my friend, where all stories eventually come to rest, and you're here because you sought a story. I am Castle, and this is my tavern, and here we talk about myth and lore and tales of yore, and every now and again I read you all a story, and that is what we are doing tonight." Bobby, hello, good to see you. Tyson, hello, welcome in, welcome everyone. Grab your seats and settle in. Oop, I need to turn the music down, because it's going to get very loud otherwise. Alright. So, when we last left off, friends, we were in a bit of tumult, to say the least. We just finished chapter 31 of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And in chapter 31, we got a bunch of incredible lore drops that I was not familiar with because I've never read this book before. I read all the way up to the 6th one and then did not read the 7th because sort of got disillusioned with Rowling torturing her characters. But apparently, the Bloody Baron killed himself because he was in love with Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter, Helena Ravenclaw, and he killed her in a fit of rage because she rebuffed him. So, the Ravenclaw ghost is indeed Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter. Now, you don't ever hear about this actually until this book. And there are only 2 other mentions. Douglas, thank you for the stars, my friend. Tips to the tavern keeper always appreciated. Thank you kindly. Castle, send me a friend request. I have some work for the missus creating a background for me. So, certainly. Have you already messaged me on the... I'm way behind on my messages. I apologize. I was down sick for a week, and the lady and I have been rushing to catch up, so I'm behind on comments and messages. I apologize. If you've messaged me, I'll get back to you, Douglas. But I will get back to you, and we can talk about what you need done. We're doing a movie every night this week up until Sunday, when Sunday will be the last day that we are in Harry Potter. So we will have finished all 7 books in Storytime. It is going to be an insane thing. We've gone through all 7 books, so we're going to go through all 7, or I guess it's 8 films, between this Sunday that just passed and the coming Sunday. Herring, hello, good to see you. Why doesn't Voldemort wear glasses? Nobody knows. Very funny. Jessica, hello. Mike, hello. Alana, hello. Good to see you all. Welcome in. Good to see you, my friends. Grab your seats, settle in. Those hoodies are warm. I was comfortable running errands the other day. Thanks. Excellent, Bobby. I'm glad that they are up to standard. Harry Potter is what brought me here. Me too, Eric, which is just such a crazy thing. Because we've now gone through all but one of like the major whimsical children's series. I don't know. Maybe I would count. I guess the magical whimsical children's series or young adult series would be like Harry Potter, The Hobbit, and Lord of the Rings. I know those aren't technically young adult, but in their time they were. Chronicles of Narnia, Eragon, and then I would argue like Dragon Riders of Pern. Not anymore, but again, in their time, they were written as like young adult to adult fiction. He doesn't have a nose, that's why. Right. Right, Justin. Thank you, I appreciate you for clarifying for us. Georgia, hello, good evening. The Hobbit is a great small book, I agree, which is, and for anybody who is wondering, it's almost, little bugs. It's almost, summer is almost here. It's almost a certainty that we will be doing Tolkien for the readathon. Which, if this all works out, so if we finish up Harry Potter this week, that means next week we're going to take the week off. We'll probably still do some, like, something story times, but we won't be starting any new books, and then the week following that on Sunday is when we'll start the readathon, and it'll go Sunday to Sunday. Will be how we'll be planning to do it. We could probably do waffles. Maybe I'll read, because I'm almost done with the Twisted Fate stories, and I have a couple of short stories that I wrote for the Tavern Short Story Contest, which, by the way, we have, I think, 3 weeks left in this, the current one, the current Tavern Tales writing competition. So if you are a writer, you fancy yourself a short story writer or a novel writer, you can write a short story, and it will be in the contest for being published in the Tavern Tales volume that comes out at the beginning of next year. Dragon Riders was a good series. It was a spectacular series. Kayla, hello, good to see you, welcome in. Now, for anybody who's just being here for the first time, there are portals open everywhere where folk come into the tavern. So you can go wherever your preferred viewing experience is. There are portals open on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Kick. Whichever is your preferred platform, it'll be easy, whatever's easiest for you to watch on. Voldemort punches someone in the nose. Person, look, just because you haven't got a nose doesn't mean you get to punch my nose. Shannara series is also good. I have not read the Shannara series, but the lady has. Have you read the Mass Effect books? I heard Revelations was pretty good. I have the Mass Effect books somewhere, but I never read them. I got them at an event years ago, and I have not read them. There's some, most of the time when I get a book, I read it almost immediately. I have very few, like, to-be-read books, because when I buy a book, I pretty much read it immediately. But I haven't read the Mass Effect books. Shannara is a good series, yes. And I've seen a few episodes of the television series, which I don't know how people feel about that as far as, like, folks who are fans of the books. I do love Mass Effect, even the newest game. It's a pretty solid game. I haven't played Mass Effect since Mass Effect 2. I'm very behind on games. Kayla says, guess what I found today? What did you found today? I am very interested in what you found, since we're talking about books, I presume. Oh, you found a mobility scooter. I needed one. Now, you didn't steal it from somebody else, did you? Like, you didn't like push somebody off of one and like, oh look, I found this mobility scooter and now it's mine. Because chances are, if the person was in a mobility scooter and you pushed them out, they wouldn't be able to catch you if you ran off with it. It was by the trash. Okay, that's that's fine then. That's all right. There's no moral ambiguity in that. Someone's apartment got cleared out. Oh, I see. Well, good on you then. I'm going to share this here and then switch to my Twitch. All right, Justin, wonderful. Yeah, because if you are on the YouTube or Facebook portals, you're going to be a little bit behind. The latency on YouTube and Facebook is terrible for some reason, and there's not really much I can do about it. So you guys are always about 20 to 60 seconds behind. It is a more kind of stable and relaxed viewing on YouTube and Facebook, but if you want to be in the conversation, the bulk of the conversation happens over on the Twitch portal. Also called Ill Earth War. Oh, Frost, you said the Thomas Covenant, Covenant or Convent series was a good read as well. Also called the Ill Earth War. Interesting. I switched to YouTube for the ads. Yeah. Oh yeah, because Twitch makes us run the ads, so it's bollocks. But it is what it is. Well, this wasn't too hard to find. Nope, I'm the only one. Well, no, there is another. The reason why we are Black Dragon Tavern Gaming is because there is another Black Dragon Tavern. It was a D&D channel. And the young man who owns it actually offered to sell me the name, but we don't really make all that much money from doing this, so I didn't see it as worthwhile to buy the name. I will probably be changing it in the coming days, though. What do you guys think of doing something like Black Dragon Tavern Keeper or Black Dragon Tavern Stories for Twitch? I know most of you probably don't care, but yes, TikTok too. Are Salvatore had some great D&D stories. Yeah, I have a couple of his books over there. The lady and I have so many books. One of the worst things that you can do as a bookish person is marry another bookish person. It's one of the worst decisions you can make. Because I have all of my books and she has all of her books, and since we've been together, we have compiled more and more books on top of those books. Godson Zachary, yes, this is live. You have stumbled into the tavern whilst the tavern keeper is on duty. Two bookish people make a library. Yeah, we're in the process of making an archive. we're already close to a library. By the time we get the tavern built, we're gonna have a whole archive. It's gonna have to be a great underground bunker for everything. Gunnar, sorry for the late intrusion. Never be sorry, and you're never intruding, my friend. Dodger Cage. Well, this wasn't too. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Well, Dodger, I presume that you are. You're Justin, yes? If you have a different username between things, you have to make sure you let me know who you are, so I can get things sorted. Yeah, so what do you guys like? Black Dragon Tavern Stories or Black Dragon Tavern Keepers for over on the Twitch portal? Wait, nobody. Were you not following on Twitch? Well, thank you for marking us on your map, you and Rathan. Thank you. Welcome in, my friends. Esther, hello, it's good to see you. I hope I haven't missed much. Are you doing okay? I'm doing wonderful. It's a great evening. Joker, hello, good to see you, my friend. How's your week going? You guys should talk about, to my senior lit teacher, her room was floor-to-ceiling books. Before my parents passed away, my mother was a big collector of, like, encyclopedias and old reference books. So my mother had a huge library of old encyclopedias and reference books. And sadly, most of them were ruined or stolen. But there was a lot of like really good like old Encyclopedia Britannicas and like old world like German encyclopedias and old English encyclopedias. They were great. Well, I'm glad that you're now following. Nobody. It was wait here. I had a tavern name for my own group of friends before. It was, however, rejected very hard even by my own queen, who was the inspiration for the name. What was the name? Because it sounds like you might have done something not nice. I didn't realize the tavern had a Twitch, or I would have followed ages ago. I'm terrible at cross advertising. I really am. I really just like to. I really just like to put out. I like to put out the stories and let you guys enjoy them. Like a lot of people don't know that we sell tankards. A lot of people don't know that we have tavern shirts. A lot of people don't know that we're on so many of these different platforms. A lot of people don't know that we have a tavern newsletter. A lot of people don't know that the lady and I write books, or writing books. We don't have anything published. The only book we presently have published is this little handbook, which goes over how my family celebrates the festivals of the year. And this a bunch of people kept asking about my family traditions, As far as because my family has a very unique set of traditions and like how we raise our children, how we get married, how we sort of celebrate and honor our ancestors and honor the turning of the seasons. So I put it together into a little handbook for people to pick up. And I don't ever talk about these things. Like literally, if it wasn't for the other patrons of the tavern who constantly poke me and tell me that I need to tell people about these things, I would forget to do it. So I apologize. Yes, we do have a Twitch. We have several things. I like Black Dragon Tavern stories. I think Black Dragon Tavern stories is like very concise. I like it a lot. Yeah, Ashley, hi Ashley. Good to see you, love. I hope Mateus is doing all right. Uh, let's see. Okay. You guys are all just chatting with each other. Good. Pretty good. Actually, barbecue is going good. Wonderful. Glad to hear it. Uh, Anxiously awaiting the appearance of Waffle Tavern t-shirts one of these days. The lady says, "Oh my gosh, then I would have to actually create waffle art." Douglas says, "Black Dragon pub and home." That is interesting. I don't know if I would be able to change from tavern, but that is I do like the coziness of that. You won't catch me on Facebook. I am surprised. Like we for a long time were hard on the nose of we didn't want to be on any of the meta platforms. And individual, hello. It's good to see you. I'm glad that you're in. It's been a while. We love when Castle waffles. Jessica says, "Ha, fine waffle art." Otstava, hello. Good to see you. Welcome. We for a long time we were hard, like we weren't going to do anything on Instagram or Facebook, and now two of the largest groups of patrons are on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that we get to have all of you. I don't particularly care for the lizard man himself, but I plugs the ad for the festival's book, right? The Queen's Club. Yeah, that's you can't call your tavern that, daughter. Daughter, I don't know if you answered me. Are you Justin? Is that Justin coming over from Facebook? Uh, Michaela loves art. Thank you for the follow over on TikTok. Welcome to the tavern, my friend. Grab a seat, settle in. You've marked us on your map. You should be able to find your way back the next time you seek a story. Black Dragon Cavern. That would be funny. Is the story Harry Potter? It is. We are coming up on the end of the Harry Potter series. We are in book 7 and we are in chapter 32. I'll do a little bit of a recap for the last chapter because a lot went on in the last chapter. Um, the last chapter was the Battle of Hogwarts, and one, crazy lore drops, and two, a lot of sad things. So we're gonna come back to it. Blackwing's Respite. Maddie says that you should do it. I'll happily advertise the Twitch portal on Facebook if you want, Castle. I don't know. I don't like. I have a hard time because so many people in the social media age are just like, buy my thing, go see my thing, go follow me here. I just kind of want to make stories for you guys, and I know that it's really bad business, and we're trying to make enough money through this that we can make more stories and better stories, and get you guys more things and better things. And I 100% understand that there is an aspect of this that we have to treat it like, oh, it's Tonks. Well, hello, Tonks. It's good to see you. Did you lose your other TikTok account? Well, I'm glad that you're in. Hello. Thank you, Frost. I appreciate you. I talked to you, Esther. Uh, but I don't know. I'm really bad about doing all of these things because I really just want to make you guys stories. Mr. Carson, may I add your page to my Discord? Why did that get caught by the automod? So I get the yes, certainly, absolutely, more than welcome. Uh, Little brother would tease you to do it, Una, says Matty. Just off the top of my head, that's where I first found you. I didn't even know you had other platforms until a few days ago. Yeah, the big one that I need to get out there more, and we need to be making, because we started out doing like long video essay story times on YouTube, because that's really where my heart is in those longer story times. But I kind of fell off doing them for a bit just because I had other work things that needed to be done. Um, but we're getting back to it. But yeah, YouTube is one that I should do more of. Did you start yet, or are we're still in waffles, Belinda? We're still in waffles. No, it's my iPad. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, we're gonna do ads over on Twitch real quick, and then when we come back, we'll wrap up the topic, and then we'll get started on the next chapter of Harry Potter. So, Twitch friends, you're gonna be in ad hell for 3 minutes, and then we'll have a whole hour without them. I appreciate you sitting through. We will be right back. Yeah, I will never get over how Mark Zuckerberg just looks like somebody put a sad human skin on top of a sad something else. The poor man, like he is ragged for some reason. I guess being a billionaire at 22 will do that to you. I told you, Ben and I will be sure people bye. Yes, you are. Kayla, thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. Tips to the topic, keep it always appreciated. We could always have hyperlinks and stuff in your description. That way I can say, find more here once and move on. Yeah, that's true. I am so much more focused on the idea of just making you guys stories, as many and as much and as good as they can be, that I don't ever really, I never really thought we would ever turn this into a business. And I'm happy that it can be a business so that we can, because then, whatever we make money-wise goes back into making more stories, and I love that. But it's hard for me to separate my desire just to make stories and not have you guys be inundated with things from the other things, Kayla, thank you for the heartbeat. Nate, thank you for the heartbeat. Tips to the tavern keeper, always appreciated. Gosh, Castle, you're in a happy mood. I got a good night's sleep last night. It wasn't the appropriate time to go to bed. I think we went to bed at like 6 a.m. But I got a good night's sleep last night. Oh, happy and gappy mood. I'm always in both. It's the word Discord. I actually stumbled on this channel from your reels. Without, of course. Thank you. I appreciate you wanting to be in here that much. That's exactly what my friend... Yes, I was that guy. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I try to make the stories available everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere that I can put them out, I do. It helps bolster their lives. Thank you, Kayla. I didn't even know that, so you know more about that than I do. But Stephanie, thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate you for that. Tips to the tavern keeper, always appreciated. It just said I wasn't... It said you were... TikTok has people unfollow all the time. Facebook does the same thing. If they feel like you're not interacting with the static content, they'll unfollow you. I don't know why. That's what they do, but that's what they do. Darth Nexus, thank you for the heart, me, and the Go Popular. I appreciate you, my friend. Tips to the tavern keeper, always appreciated. Yappy waffles, always. Most of the stuff that stuck with me was the revenge stoic stuff. Stumbled on your channel from Reels. Yeah, and again, like I'm glad that it's crazy how many of you from all over. Well, thank you for the refollow, Stephanie. I appreciate it. Yeah, for some reason, TikTok, if you're not following, if you're not like engaging with static content from a creator, they will have you unfollowed. Facebook does the same thing. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they do. Because I know some of you are just here for the live story times. But for some reason, TikTok and Facebook, they will unfollow you from a creator if you don't engage with the static stuff. Well, once I found you, I started to watch your longer ones, and I do enjoy them. If you want to look at a guy who does very similar to you, look up Matt Colville. He runs it very well, and it's not evasive. You may like the style. Can you send me a link? Nobody. I'm always curious how other folk do it. I tend to just Uh, I tend to just do things, however. Fire Deck, hello, my friend. Thank you for the rose and for the donut. Tips to the tavern, keep it always. Nate, you flatter me. You flatter me. Thank you, my friend. Thank you kindly. Crystal, hello. Good to see you. He is. Yeah. I'm buying people the festival book for the holidays this year. Gotta buy like 10. That's a lot, Aaron. I don't know. I don't know if you need to buy that many. I think you are a creative mind that needs a platform for a voice. You have a great message and better stories. Well, thank you, nobody. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy them. I can't really take credit for the message. Literally, all of the stories I tell and how I tell them, they're literally a part of my grandfather's family tradition. So it's literally my family tradition that I grew up with. So I can't really take credit for them being mine, but I do. It does make me feel good when people hold them close to their heart. Uh, Go to bed, Maddie. Also, Castle goes to bed at 6 a.m. Me, Castle, we need to. Yeah, I know. The lady and I are trying to get better with it, but we keep we keep staying up to get work done, and because that one every time, like if I'm down for a week, I end up falling so far behind with work. It's insane. Kiara, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. I'm glad that you've joined us on a different portal. You've marked us on your map now, and you'll be able to find your way back the next time you seek a story. Castle, I keep missing your replies to whether or not you saw the clip I sent with McGonagall. Casting, I didn't watch it. I saw because I had to find where you posted it. You posted it in the law room. I will watch it after this story time is done. Due to Facebook restrictions, I will be on Rumble with my show Highland Buzz, the show about upcoming events and whiskey review and general shenanigans. I do put things out on Rumble, but Rumble gets has no organic uh, discovery. Like I'm on a bunch of like really vague platforms just because I don't want somebody else taking the tavern name. But some of them get like ridiculous traction. Like we got on Red Note, which is like it's basically run by the Chinese government, and for some reason we started blowing up there. I don't know why that is. I did not know that. That's crazy. Twitch is back, sending his channel over Discord. Thank you, Mr. Man. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, Bethany, I did find where you posted it. I'll watch it after we're done with Storytime tonight. The fact you share it with everyone is a part of what makes it so great. Well, and it's always been a thing that was supposed to be shared. Like stories and the art of storytelling and the respect of proper storytelling has to be handed down, or society falls apart. And we just have so few proper storytellers. And I'm not trying to lift myself up and say that I'm some great or proper storyteller, but good, honest, earnest storytellers who are focused on the story and not themselves are very rare. And that's what storytellers are supposed to be. They're supposed to be sort of self-sacrificial in a way that you're putting aside your ego and you're putting the story first. And you're not trying to teach a lesson, you're not trying to force people to believe what you believe. You're just telling the story, and then yesterday's story time was about this. I tell you the story, and then you decide what the lesson is there. And you may get it wrong, but that's the point. That's how you learn. Sometimes you will get it wrong, and sometimes you'll get it right. And when you get it right, you'll feel really good because you got it right and you learned something worthwhile. But if I just tell you what to think, then you never learn and you stay fragile forever. I must say I'm gladdened to find a place full of others who value stories and traditions. The place where I live sadly doesn't value these things much, fortunately. And they've become increasingly rare. Dava. Kiara's my wife. She's watching while at work. She was excited when I told her you're... Oh, well, wonderful. That's wonderful to see. Rathan, do you have another username? Because again, if you guys... Crystal, thank you for being a supporter over on Facebook. I appreciate you for that. Tips to the Tavern Keeper, always appreciated. Rathan and... Gosh, my brain is not working. What was the other name? Dodger. Rathan and Dodger. What are your names on other platforms so I have a consistency? What has been your favorite merch item? I really like the tavern t-shirt and the tankards. because the lady worked really hard to find a manufacturer for these, and we would like to make them ourselves, but obviously that's a whole different thing. In the future, we'll make them ourselves. But she found the manufacturer who makes the tree-shaped ones. I really like the tankards, and I just like the tavern logo that the lady made on the Myth and Lore and Tales of Yore shirt. I like those a lot. What is your regular job? So up until this year, the lady and I did brand and storytelling advising. So we would help other people run businesses essentially. I have a lot of experience in business logistics and management, and the lady does as she has a lot of experience in design. So that's what we did for work for a very long while, and now we write and we do the storytelling pretty much full time. We still occasionally take client work because we don't make a whole lot of money at this, and we make about enough to cover our costs right now, and it's going up. As more viewership comes in, it goes up, and as more people decide that they want to buy things and things like that. I don't ever want anybody to feel pressure to do that, which is why we try never to talk about the money aspect of it. I just want you guys to enjoy things, and the more you enjoy things, the better that is for me. Crystal, also thank you for the stars. I didn't see the stars come in. Thank you kindly. Uh, Rain, hello, good to see you. Individual, you said what you want. Well, thank you. I appreciate. I assume that was in response. I'm sorry, I was so behind on TikTok. I'm not used to TikTok rolling this quickly. I assume you mean I'm a decent enough storyteller. Oh, Andrew. Yes. Andrew. Okay, good. I don't know if I've seen the name Rathon on YouTube. I think I have, maybe, but I for sure I've seen Andrew Smith. Well, welcome, Andrew. I'll just call you Rathon because since that seems to be your common username. Uh, this is the most people I've seen here. Yeah, this is we've been getting more and more people on TikTok, which is strange because 3 years ago we used to get huge numbers on TikTok. Like we get 150 to 300 people during story times on TikTok, and it kind of died like 2.5 years ago. And even people who follow us weren't really there. But yeah, we've a lot of new folk coming in, a lot of old folk coming in. It's good to see people. I'm curious, have you voiced any audiobooks? So I do readings over on Endless Epic, and I've had a few people like inquire about doing audiobooks, but a lot of people had like really strict timelines with when they wanted it done, and I was offering to do them for free, because I don't really charge for things I don't have a huge amount of experience in. Obviously, I have a lot of experience in voice work and doing recordings and whatnot, but I've only ever done my own books and these live readings. So, but right now we do not have. I have not done any other audiobooks, but if you go over to Endless Epic, which is our Storytime channel, you'll find that there are all sorts of readings over there if you're interested in hearing them. My book is coming in handy, and I'm doing 7 chapters right now. Spectacular, Joker. We love to hear it. Now TikTok won't let me tap. TikTok is so temperamental all the time. Yeah, so you're blessed enough to make your living with your writing? Not as of yet, Belinda. We still do some client work and some work out of the house, but hopefully by the end of the year we will be. You guys have been very wonderful about helping us get there, so I appreciate you all of you who show up and watch all the things we do and support all the things we do. We appreciate it very much. Is definitely short and code. Hello, welcome in as well. No, bye, says Ashley. It was about you being a fantastic. Oh, thank you, individual. I appreciate the correction. Oh my god, that's awesome. Welcome in, everyone. Yeah, it's great to see more folk coming in. Although, with Ashley being our only barkeep over there, she might get overwhelmed. What about being a voice actor? I did do voice acting things way back in the day for early YouTube stuff. Voice actors do not make a lot of money unless it's a very high-end project and they're very well established. I would make more. I make more off of our YouTube things and our video things in our books than I would ever make working for somebody else. Uh, I do wish you much success. I hope your aspirations come true soon. As do I, Belinda. Our primary aspiration is to just be able to put up videos every day for you guys and get out long story times. And then to get books for you guys. Those are the big things. Those are the big things. I'm also about to update my channel with Una's suggestions sooner or later. But I'm also trying to problem solve for when I need my camera off to having a VTube model. Oh, I see, I see. Also, I'm excited for your excitement over the next chapter. We ended on a crazy note, so I am. I love watching your reels on Facebook. It's so great to see you here too. Well, Kiara, I'm glad that you and your husband enjoy this together. That's wonderful to hear. I love when families come into the tavern together. It's absolutely spectacular for the lady and I when families come to join us. Yes, sir, I will answer only this. Spectacular. I love to hear it. I like being here because I run and play tabletop RPGs. Really good place for it. Castle, you could look into voiceover work. Yeah, I would be willing to do any of those things. Obviously, we do a lot of work ourselves, so doing any side work is hard. Like, we have to really squeeze in extra clients when we need to make extra money, because we spend so much time on tavern things that we have to really make sure that we're planning things out in detail, otherwise we get caught up. Is Una around? Please say hi for me. I will, my love. Rain says hello. She's sitting across from me. She's working on today's short story time, which we got out late because we had other things we had to do this morning, so running a little bit behind. It's good to see you, Traveler. One day perhaps you can read us The Ring of Nibelung. I actually have plans to do a full reading, both with updated, more modern language, as well as the classical language, over on Endless Epic at some point, Berkey. I don't know when, because again, we have so many projects going on, but we are definitely pushing to get more stuff out for our Storytime channel so people can just listen to me read. Because not everybody likes to listen to me badger on for hours and hours with waffles, but some folk do. You are good. Like, when I run games, I got like 0 voices. I envy you even. I spent a lot of time in my early years working in media learning how to do voices. And a lot of it came from the fact that when I moved to the US, I was young. I was in my teens and I started university at 14, 15 years old. And my accent was very thick when I moved to the US. And it was odd. Like, my accent is odd. It is strange. It's strange even for Irish folk. And I got made fun of relentlessly because I was around a bunch of adults. I got teased by teachers and by other adults in these college university courses. And I learned very quickly how to disguise my accent. And that led me towards working to being, to figuring out how to modulate my voice. So, it's one of those things. I have TikTok and following the tavern if Ashley needs help. If it gets too boys, hey, Mateus, I'm glad you're feeling better, my friend. Thank you for the corn. The Corn King has graced us with his presence. I appreciate you all thinking of me and wishing me well. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so glad that you could drop in, my friend. I want to say thank you and everyone in the tavern. Thank you, Castle. Thanks a lot. I'm glad you're feeling better, mate. I hope that everything sorts itself out. We were all deeply worried for you. One day the tavern will be a physical place, and I will be sure to grab a seat. When we finally get the tavern built, it will be a grand day, and I have a feeling that I will be making. I will be spending a lot of time in the kitchen and mixing up drinks for people. Although we don't do mixed drinks in the tavern, you just drink whatever's in the cup. Yes. Well, inspiration for a portion of the main story of Lord of the Rings, yes. A lot of the Norse and Finnish sagas and a lot of the old English folklore were big inspirations for Tolkien in his writing of The Hobbit and whatnot. Said, I'll help you build it. And adults are magically clueless as to where the kids learn to bully. Yeah. It was rough for a bit. What's funny is that the professor who ended up being like one of the biggest bullies of me in my university era actually ended up being one of my mentors and a very dear friend going forward. We had a falling out some years ago over something he disagreed with me on, and I said we can agree to disagree, and then he didn't agree to disagree. So we ended up having a falling out some years ago. But I still love and respect the man, but he's very hard headed and he doesn't like to change his mind about things. I still love him to death though. Castle, thanks for messaging the reels. I can see them easier. Message what do you mean, Bobby? Would you technically classify me as a recurring client for technically, Matty, technically. Yeah. It was Castle. Okay, it's very deep, but it's a unique accent and good-hearted. Well, I'm glad that that's how you hear it, Rain. Castle being good background noise while I hand wash some pants. It was Castle smooches that healed him, though, let's be honest. I mean, they are magical. The lady has told me so. No, you're not late at all, Molly. I've been waffling for literally almost an hour. We're gonna get into reading here in just a second, though. Yeah, we've got 45 minutes left on the ad clock, so we should be good for Twitch. Let's go ahead and get started, friends. I'm gonna give you all a recap of what happened last week so that we can get into it. Una has had some coffee. She didn't have her coffee. Like I said, we had errands to run earlier today, and we were getting started late. Oh, stories on Facebook. Yes. I right. Through the broadcast channel. Of course, Bobby. Always my pleasure. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you so much, Cousin. Thank you, Mateus. I appreciate you, my friend. The Corn King has blessed us with his bounty. Thank you, my friend. Tips to the Tavern Keeper, always appreciated. I was unaware that there were plans to eventually build a physical... Yeah, we don't ever talk about these things. Physical Tavern, I wish you well in this endeavor and will be sure to visit one day. EF Sharp, greetings and hello. I'm telling you, Castle, check the Jester's channel later for the video that will make you cackle out loud. It did me. And see, I will, absolutely. The professor ever apologized for bullying you? No, never. I even brought it up to him at one point, and he said, well, you did, he said you did sound stupid, is what he had. That was the excuse that he gave, so. He said that the accent made me sound uneducated, was the excuse. And it's really a common thing, like, a lot of people say that about southern accents in the United States. So, save me a small table in a short corner where I can enjoy a good pipe or cigar and a tall Guinness and dram. Absolutely, Douglas. Absolutely. So, just for all the folks who are newer here, and a lot of you have been in here for quite a bit of time now, but it's been a while since we talked about this. The lady and I have goals to make books that teach and portray the various stories, traditional folklores, and myths from all around the world, starting with, of course, our home myths in the Celtic stories and in the Germanic and Scandinavian stories. We want to make like children's cartoons and children's books so that children can more easily learn like these old traditions, these old stories. We have a children's series that we're working on. We would eventually also like to do cartoons and like TV length shows, all produced by us. We don't want anything in Hollywood involved. We really want to just do all of those things within the tavern itself as much as we can. And then eventually we would like to build the tavern again and have her physical doors open so other folks can come in. And then we would like to build an artisan village is our ultimate goal, where we find folk from all over the US or all over the world if we can, who do traditional crafts like woodworking, leather, clockwork, these handcrafts that are more or less dying, and we make them a part of the tavern ecosystem, and we make more videos talking about the history and use and all of those things, with those masters of their crafts, and have a place where people can come and mentor or take classes underneath those people if they want to learn those skills, and also have a place with a longhouse where we can do traditional weddings, either how my family does them, or with some of the older traditional ways, as well as to host the festivals of the year. That is our overall goal. Will we ever get there? Because that in and of it, the tavern and the tavern and the village is like, it's like a $12 million project, conservatively speaking. And that would be just so if we were to take no money from anybody, which we don't really want to. If we were to just do that based on views, let's say on YouTube, we'd need to get like 150 million views on long videos on YouTube. Bethany, you said, well, I apologize for it. Thank you, Bethany. I appreciate you that. As a Southerner, I can confirm we're not taken seriously in academia. Yeah, there are some accents that people just feel people are dumber when they have them. It's a very common bias. I don't really hold it against anybody because I've lived in 13 different countries, and every country sort of has their own version, and then there are some that are universal. Like Irish and Scottish, for some reason, are always seen as being like very dumb, and if you have like an off Irish accent or Scottish accent, then it's seen as being less intelligent, being like country bumpkin sort of thing. There was a children's cartoon I watched when I was a child called David the Gnome. I remember hearing that. I don't think I've ever watched it, but I have heard it. He had a white beard and a red cone hat. Accents do not make people sound less intelligent. Yeah, and it's a very, very common thing throughout the world, which is why I just don't hold it against people. I will still talk to people. If people decide to be like belligerent about it, then I'll snap back a little bit. But in general, I don't think about it. Us Newfoundlanders have the same statement over our accent, which is derived from Ireland. Yeah, the Newfies, they have a little rapid chat. People always think Matt's from Australia. Yeah, Australia is one of those weird ones. Like, Australia is sort of like the dude bro accent, I think. A lot of people assume that, like, Australians are all, like, empty-headed surfers or, like, outback guys, like Crocodile Dundee, right? People have a lot of really weird misconceptions about things just based on accents. I'm listening on YouTube and using Twitch to message, so if I'm behind, that's alright, Bobby, that's alright, I appreciate you. Accents tend to make one at least sound smarter. Yeah, like if you were to do like the Queen's English posh British accent, right? Or the transatlantic accent, which is, it's like, and here we are today on, like, the old, like, radio accent, right? The people assign that with being more intelligent. We will find a place for all your dreams. Thank you, Douglas. I appreciate it. Come visit me in the highlands of Colorado. Colorado is very beautiful. We're planning on going up to Montana, but Colorado is very pretty. I'm going to start putting the tavern on in the background at work every day. I would move to the village. Just look at how the US comedians take the piss out of all. Yeah, absolutely. The kicker is people with accents are usually smarter than us. Accents is because English isn't the person's first language, then those people for sure smarter than we are because they're bilingual and native English speakers are. Yeah, and there's a lot that can be said about like learning different languages and what that does to help your brain. And I always try to make sure I never paint anything with a broad brush. But everywhere you go in the world, there are stereotypes. A lot of them are founded in some sort of truth, and people tend to have their biases. We must send Castle some clips of David. Send them away. Send them away. Montana is beautiful. Montana is gorgeous, and it's close in environment to what I grew up in, which is part of why we want to go out there. The lady grew up in Northern California. I grew up in the Wicklow Valley. So I grew up around like a lot of mountains and trees. Like between Down and Wicklow and Limerick was where I spent most of my time. And then my last 2 years were out in Belfast, out in like a little bit of the countryside of Belfast. So I was always around like rolling hills and trees and mountains and rivers and cliffs. And I want to be back to that. And she grew up around trees and mountains, so that's what we want to do. Stay out of Colorado past Denver. I grew up there. It's all... I don't know if I can say that on Twitch or TikTok without getting banned, but we're looking for places that are environmentally what we're looking for. I can pretty much deal with any kind of people. I've lived in a lot of places, and people tend to be particular. So when I trained in the Down Under, they all lost their accents if they were around Americans for too long. Yeah, there are a lot of places where people tend to be very adaptive with the way they speak. Ireland is not one of them. My mom is from South Africa, and people always think she's English or Australian. I don't. I think that's just because there are so few South Africans. Like South Africa is not like an overly populated place, so most people don't ever hear a South African accent, and it is similar. Like they've uh similar vowels to Australia. So it kind of gets. I don't know why, but that transatlantic accent grates on my ears. I'll take a heavy Southern Irish or Scottish accent any day. Oh, it's an accent that was artificially created for the transatlantic flights earlier. Yeah, it was used for like radio and television and stuff. Yeah. Castle, can you do an American accent? I can do an American accent, but it makes my wife want to leave me. Yeah, I plan on learning German in a year or two. German is a good language to learn. It'll help you with other like Western European languages. Montana, okay, yeah, you got me. My NP sent me a language. I need to get reading. We're having such a good conversation that I'm getting lost in it. Christy, hello, good to see you. We had a guy from Mississippi work 3 years ago. I was the only person who could understand him. Yeah, well, I just, Bethany, I just saw myself. We're getting very. Western Montana is amazing. Western Montana is beautiful. I love like the Kalispell Flathead area. It's like African accents comfort me. Yeah, it is a pretty accent. Castle, should we run ads again before? Probably, Frost, probably. Since I've been learning German for over a year, I'll catch myself speaking in a German accent. I've had a few. That'll happen. That'll happen. A former sutrist. Yeah, so I can do an American accent. English with a South African versus Australian. It makes so much sense. The wilderness calls you, right? Finally visiting Ireland for the first time in a few weeks. Can't wait to wander. Make sure you get out into the country. There's not much of the wild Irish countryside left. So make sure you get out there and visit it because it's not going to be there for much longer. There's a lot of not savory things happening with the environment in Ireland. So if you want to get out and see some of the old Irish countryside, I recommend doing it if you can. I had to pronounce the word duty as duty for an American, so you can understand me after saying it 3 times. Well, English is an incredible language. English gets poo-pooed on quite a bit, but English is a miraculous language, and the only language that has even come close to what English has been able to do for like uniting, because English is a combination of French, Latin, and Gaelic and Old English languages, right? So this literally united more folk, and the only things that ever even come close was like Mandarin and Cantonese. English is so learnable by so many different people, and every language feels hard to learn at first because you're not used to it. But English is incredible because of how it bridges so many different languages together. Yeah, yes, and it's got Mediterranean languages in there. It's got some Macedonian in there, and because it is this mash of these cultural Brits, it really brought together, made cohesion amongst so many different nations possible. English gets a lot of grief, and it is overly complicated. It is very complicated. Nowhere near as complicated as something like Mandarin or Cantonese is, but English is complicated and it's contradictory. But you'll get that in almost every language. Like there's a guy on TikTok who's very funny who talks about Irish and like for raining, right? When it's raining, there are 32 different ways that you can say rain in Ireland based on the context of what is happening with the rain. 32. 32, and it's not like in English where people say, oh, it's pissing down outside, or oh, it's raining cats and dogs, or oh, you know, it's not like that. These are like specifically, if you're trying to say that, you have to say it that way. So it's ridiculous. Any word that ends in "u" is adopted from another language. I don't know if that's true. I'll take your word for it, Becky. In the Midwest, we don't say it unless it's far before the rain. Sorry, Matt, he's trolling. That's all right. Good grief. We all just expect each other to know the rain's coming, right? And we usually do in our homes. Well, it rains a lot out there. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that we have so many words for rain. Most of what Irish folk do is sit and stare at the rain and talk about the rain. So it is what it is. Two and two, bear and bear. Yeah. Well, there's this girl who is from she's from Zhonghua, which is like this it's a northern province of China, and she makes jokes about how Americans and like British people think that some of English is dumb, and then she'll go sure, 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 and those are all different words. Those are all different words in Mandarin, and it's very funny. It's very funny. It looks like we're doing waffles instead. No, we're reading. We're reading. I swear, we're gonna read. I promise. We're getting into it. Well, I'm gonna start right now, as a matter of fact. But yes, Crystal, to answer your question, I can do several different American accents. My primary American accent is Californian, and I learned it from a person who studies dialects. Oh, yes. Yes, I know the different up and down in Japanese. Yeah, it's like whether it has an upturn or a downturn completely changes the words. And I'm like, this is proof that all language have idiosyncrasies to them, and it's just is what it is. Chopsticks, hello, good to see you. Welcome in. I lived in Hawaii. Well, Pidgin is another one of those languages that's absolutely insane. Pidgin is not native Hawaiian, obviously. Like there are other Polynesian languages, but Pidgin is a native language. Tonal languages are such a strange concept to me. I'm so curious as to what would cause a language to develop in that way. Yeah, and it's crazy because it's not just Asian languages that are that way. There are some. It's really interesting because you have like Ethiopian languages, like some North African languages that are tonal, but then you go into like West African languages and they're not tonal. So you have to wonder like what happens culturally that changes that, because that's insane, right? I guess that's why we're only 2 weeks into dating each other. We got married. Yeah, 20 years together is wild. But that's absolutely exceptional. Sorry to be late, but so glad to be here. You're not late at all. You're not late at all. As you can see, Bethany is yelling at me to get on task. But yes, all right. Let's go ahead and we're gonna do another 3 minutes so you guys don't get interrupted. Because if I stop again, we'll probably get on to waffles. So we're going to do another 3 minutes of ads over on Twitch. Then we're going to get started. So 3 minutes from now, we're going to start with Harry Potter Chapter 32, The Elder Wand. So let's get started, my friends. But yeah, so Crystal, to answer your question, my primary American accent is, "Hi guys, how you doing? How's life been treating you, everyone? How's everyone doing today?" And then I can ham it up and be like, "So, dude, how you doing? How's life treating you, man?" Huh? What? Yo, come back now, you hear? Come on down to the barn. I don't know. I think that's more like Alabama. I haven't. They're off. They're off. That's true. I haven't done them in a while. But hey, I'm trying. All right. I talk for a living. I vote spending these 3 minutes in silence. Bethany's trying to murder me over here. Oh my god. Oh, please. Oh, good lord. Matt sounds so American now that people can't really hear his South African accent. Yeah, she's Castle, don't kill me, please. I have a date with a Florida girl. I need to live. Yeah, I mean, you probably, if you make it back alive from the date with the Florida girl, you'll be lucky. Also, your accents are great. You sound like an insurance agent. You know, it's funny. I developed it because I was doing sales. I did sales when I was in university. So I had to like be able to speak to people in a way they would understand. So that's why I sound like I'm an insurance agent. It was your American accent. I said that before, I swear. Hey, her name ain't cryptid. I believe you. There's a reason why Cali in New York. It's true. It's true. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, my friend. Much prefer your normal accent. I do too. Yeah, I get so many people who come in and they're like, "Why do you sound like that? Why do you talk like that?" Like, it's the sound that my throat hole makes when I push air through it. Oh, all right, friends. We've got 30 seconds until the end of ads. Good is just a good friend. The other Florida girl is a sweetheart. Just be careful. Be careful, Matty. You have to watch out for them Florida girls. I suggest silence so we don't start waffling again. Fair enough. Though I think that folks would get bored with 3 whole minutes without me talking. They might think I died. I don't think I've ever gone 3 minutes in my life without talking. That's not true. That's not true. I get straight Newfie when I'm around other Newfies or when I'm trying to confuse my husband. That sounds right. The sound that my throat hole makes when I push air through it is hilarious. It's like when people compliment my beard. I don't really know what to say. Like when people say, "Why do you sound like that?" I'm like, "That's just the sound my mouth makes. I don't know what you want me to say." It's like when people say, "I love your beard." I'm like, "Thanks, I grew it myself." Keep Castle alive. Keep him talking. I might die if I stop talking. The crazy index is real. Are you Floridians are all gators in people costumes? Yes. I'm here because he's a yapper. We get to we are getting to Harry Potter. Harry Potter. I promise. My kindergarten teacher sent me speech therapy because I had an accent from the East Coast. I was born and raised in California. It was discovered I picked up an accent from my dad's vinyl records of George Thorogood and Bruce Springsteen. That's very funny. That's very funny. Harry Potter's. I know. I'm working on it. Ugh. Do you grunt? I'm not sure what you mean, John. Love North Irish accent is grand. Yes, we're starting. I promise. What is this? Stop it. Bethany, you're gonna have to forgive me. I apologize. I just got a call from my brother. Give me 5 minutes and then we'll start. I apologize. I'll be right back on. My brother just called me. He's overseas right now. Give me 5 minutes. I will be right back. No, it was a regular 5 minutes, everybody, not a castle 5 minutes. Harry Potter doing his best not to be killed by his lord thingy. Alright. I will not get back into waffles. Belinda says, I enjoy the waffles. It's part of what makes the Black Dragon Tavern special in the community. True. Alright, but we will get into stories now. Allegedly. Doggo and Kitty. I can give you Kitty, but I don't know where the doggo is. Do you have the dog, baby? What? Yeah. Come here. Come say hello. Up. There he is. Big old handsome boy. For anybody who's never met him, this is Cola. He's rescue. He's very handsome, but he's not very bright. And, he's very distractible. Between him and the cats, there are about 3 brain cells, and they're all fighting for 4th place. Honey Chew, hello, welcome in. You're disappearing, dude. There you are. I'll have the lady grab one of the kitty cats later and bring him over. The Warhound! Yes. Mary Beth, hello, good to see you. YouTube appears to be towards the 20-second delay tonight. Yeah, he is one of his. Again, he's dumb as a bag of rocks, but he is adorable. He's lucky he's handsome. Okay, here we go. Now this says no apologies necessary for family things popping up. I know. I like for us to stay on time for things, but you guys know that I tend to get distracted or preoccupied very easily. So. But Honey Chew, welcome in, so very glad you could join us. Grab a seat, we're just about to start the chapter. I waffled unusually long tonight. Someone else do Wild Destiny, isn't here? Alright, here we go. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, chapter 32. The Elder Wand. Now, in the last chapter, we found out that the Bloody Baron had murdered the daughter of Rowena Ravenclaw, Helena Ravenclaw. Helena Ravenclaw is the ghost of Ravenclaw Tower, and she indeed knew where the diadem was. She had told a student before, and that student just so happened to be Tom Riddle. And I don't, what is it, Albania? She had left it in Albania, and that's why Voldemort was in Albania, because he had spent time there searching for the diadem. Then it turned out that Harry had seen the diadem before in the room of hiding, the room of many things. And when he went in to get it, he ran into Crabbe, Goyle, and Malfoy. And Crabbe ended himself with some fiend fire, and also destroyed the diadem. So now all of the Horcruxes, except for Nagini, are gone. Yeah, I train all my animals very socially. I never realized how much being raised around animals and being raised around nature in general, like having things in nature around you, is very good. Time is fluid with Castle. I don't want it to be, but yes, it is. When you put as much on, like I put so much on my plate that I just have to get used to things falling off until I get better about not putting as much on there. Okay, so you'll be freaking out in this chapter. The last one had me freaking out, so I assume we're gonna continue that trend. The room where all things are hidden. Yes. Okay, so we need to read Harry Potter and the Pineapple Pizza Lover. Get out of here, Maddie. Somebody ban Maddie for me. I think somebody give Maddie a 2-year ban, please, for the pineapple on pizza comment. Boo, come here. Come here. Let me see if I can get Boo to come over here. Yeah, in the Room of Requirements. It's one of the versions of the Room of Requirements. Do you have Milo, Lovey? And then at the end of the last chapter, by the way, at the end of the last chapter, we saw Fred I believe, was killed in a wall explosion. You just jumped up for Mom, but you were catched in. Sorry. Sorry. I will bring for Matty the grumpy old man. This is Boo. He's getting very old, and he's very grumpy all the time. He was a rescue. All of the animals are rescues. But he was found in a graveyard with the corpses of his siblings, and the people who had him before us called him Boo. So he's the grumpy old man. He knows that it's no point in resisting me because I'll just make him do whatever I want him to do. So he'll sit here and wait until I'm done doing whatever I'm doing. Black Dragon Cavern time. Yeah, and if the lady is doing something, he'll get up and he'll put his butt right in front of the camera. And it means that he loves you guys. That's what it means. Personally, I'm a fan of Harry Potter and the lightweight division. We have another kitty cat around here somewhere, but I don't know where he is. Okay, go to Mom. Milo is the baby, but he is gigantic. He's an absolute unit at this point. I don't know where he is, though. He's floating around here somewhere. Does he know Matt? He torments him? He might. He might. Okay, alright. So now, my friends, we are on to chapter 32 of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Coming up close to the end, my friends. We are on the Elder Wand. I lost count of how many times Boo has shown his freckles. It's probably innumerable times. Innumerable. The world had ended. So why had the battle not ceased? The castle fallen, silent in horror. Every combatant laid down their arms. Harry's mind was in a freefall, spinning out of control, unable to grasp the impossibility, because Fred Weasley could not be dead. The evidence of all of his senses must be lying. And then a body fell past the hole blown into the side of the school, and curses flew at them from the darkness, hitting the wall behind their heads. "Get down!" Harry shouted, as more curses flew through the night. He and Ron both grabbed Hermione and pulled her to the floor, but Percy lay across Fred's body, shielding it from further harm. And when Harry shouted, "Percy! Come on! We've got to move!" he shook his head. "Percy!" Harry saw tears tracks streaking the grime coating Ron's face as he seized his elder brother's shoulders and pulled, but Percy would not budge. "Percy, you can't do anything for him." "We're going to..." Hermione screamed, and Harry, turning, did not need to ask why. A monstrous spider the size of a small car was trying to climb through the huge hole in the wall. One of Aragog's descendants had joined the fight. Ron and Harry shouted together, and their spells collided, and the monster was blown backward, its legs jerking horribly, and vanished into the darkness. "It brought friends!" Harry called to the others, glancing over the edge of the castle through the hole in the wall. The curses had blasted. More giant spiders were climbing the side of the building, liberated from the Forbidden Forest, into which the Death Eaters must have penetrated. Harry fired stunning spells down upon them, knocking the lead monster onto its fellows, so that they rolled back down the building and out of sight. Then more curses came soaring over Harry's head, so close he felt the force of them blow his hair. "Let's move! Now!" Pushing Hermione ahead of him with Ron, Harry stooped and seized Fred's body under the armpits. Percy, realizing what Harry was trying to do, stopped clinging to the body and helped. Together, crouching low to avoid the curses flying at them from the grounds, they hauled Fred out of the way. "Here!" said Harry, and they placed him in a niche where a suit of armor had stood earlier. He could not bear to look at Fred a second longer than he had to. After making sure the body was well hidden, he took off after Ron and Hermione. Malfoy and Goyle had vanished, but at the end of the corridor, which was now full of dust and falling masonry, glass long gone from the windows, he saw many people running backwards and forwards. Whether friends or foes, he could not tell. Rounding the corner, Percy let out a bull-like roar. "Rookwood!" and sprinted off in the direction of a tall man who was pursuing a couple of students. "Hurry! In here!" Hermione screamed. She had pulled Ron behind a tapestry, and they seemed to be wrestling together. And for one mad second, Harry thought they were embracing again. Then he saw that Hermione was trying to restrain Ron to stop him running after Percy. "Listen to me! Listen, Ron! I want to help! I want to kill Death Eaters!" His face was contorted, smeared with dust and smoke, and he was shaking with rage and grief. "Ron! We're the only ones who can end it. Please, Ron! We need the snake. We have to kill the snake," said Hermione. But Harry knew how Ron felt. Pursuing another Horcrux could not bring the satisfaction of revenge. He too wanted to fight, to punish them, the people who had killed Fred. He wanted to find the other Weasleys, and above all make sure, quite sure, that Ginny was not. But he could not permit the idea to form in his mind. "We will fight," Hermione said. "We'll have to reach the snake. But let's not lose sight of what we're supposed to be doing. We're the only ones who can end it." She was crying too, and she wiped her face on her torn and singed sleeve as she spoke. But she took great heaving breaths to calm herself as, still keeping a tight hold on Ron, she turned to Harry. "You need to find out where Voldemort is, because he'll have his snake with him, won't he? Do it, Harry. Look inside him." Why was it so easy? Because his scar had been burning for hours, yearning to show him Voldemort's thoughts. He closed his eyes on her command, and at once the screams and bangs of all the discordant sounds of the battle were drowned until they became distant, as though he stood far, far away from them. He was standing in the middle of a desolate and strangely familiar room, with peeling paper on the walls of all the windows boarded except for one. The sounds of the assault of the castle were muffled and distant. The single unblocked window revealed a distant burst of light, where the castle stood, but inside the room was dark, except for a solitary oil lamp. He was rolling his wand between his fingers, watching it. His thoughts on the room in the castle. The secret room only he had ever found. The room, like the chamber, that you had to be clever and cunning and inquisitive to discover. He was confident that the boy would not find the diadem, though Dumbledore's puppet had come much farther than he'd ever expected. Too far. "My lord," said a voice desperate and cracked. He turned, and there was Lucius Malfoy sitting in the darkest corner, ragged and still bearing the marks of the punishment he'd received after the boy's last escape. One of his eyes remained closed and puffy. "My lord, please, my son."
"If your son is dead, Lucius, it is not my fault. He did not come and join me like the rest of the Slytherins. Perhaps he has decided to befriend Harry Potter."
"No, never," whispered Malfoy.
"You must hope not."
Aren't you afraid, my lord, that Potter might die at the hand of another but yours?" asked Malfoy, his voice shaking. "Wouldn't it be, forgive me, more prudent to call off this battle, to enter the castle and seek him yourself?"
"Do not pretend, Lucius. You wish the battle to cease so that you can discover what has happened to your son. I do not need to seek Potter. Before the night is out, Potter will come to find me."
Voldemort dropped his gaze once more to the wand in his fingers. It troubled him, and those things that troubled Lord Voldemort needed to be rearranged.
Go and fetch Snape.
Snape, my lord.
Snape! No! I need him. There is a service I require from him. Go!
Frightened, stumbling a little through the gloom, Lucius left the room. Voldemort continued to stand there, twirling the wand between his fingers, staring at it.
It is the only way, Nagini,
he whispered, and he looked around, and there was the great thick snake, now suspended in midair, twisting gracefully within the enchanted, protected space he had made for her. A starry, transparent sphere somewhere between a glittering cage and a tank. With a gasp, Harry pulled back and opened his eyes. At the same moment, his ears were assaulted with the screeches and cries, the smashes and bangs of the battle. He's in the Shrieking Shack. The snake's with him. It's got some sort of magical protection around it. He just sent Lucius Malfoy to find Snape. Voldemort's in the Shrieking Shack, said Hermione, outraged. He's not even fighting. He doesn't think he needs to fight, said Harry. He thinks I'm going to go to him. But why? He knows him after the Horcruxes. He's keeping Nagini close beside him. Obviously, I'm going to go to him to get near the thing. Right, said Ron, squaring his shoulders. So you can't go. That's what he wants. That's what he's expecting. You stay here and look after Hermione, and I'll go and get Harry cut across Ron. You two stay here. I'll go under the cloak, and I'll be back as soon as I... No, said Hermione. It makes much more sense if I take the cloak and... Don't even think about it, snarled Ron. Before Hermione could get farther than... Ron, I'm just as capable. The tapestry at the top of the staircase on which they stood was ripped open. Potter! Two masked Death Eaters stood there, but even before their wands were fully raised, Hermione shouted, Gliscio! The stairs between their feet flattened into a chute, and she, Harry, and Ron hurtled down it, unable to control their speed, but so fast that the Death Eaters' stunning spells flew far over their heads. They shot through the concealing tapestry at the bottom and spun onto the floor, hitting the opposite wall. Darrow! Cried Hermione, pointing her wand at the tapestry, and there were two loud, sickening crunches as the tapestry turned to stone, and the Death Eaters pursuing them crumpled against it. Get back! Shouted Ron, and he, Harry, and Hermione flattened themselves against a door as a herd of galloping desks thundered past, shepherded by a sprinting Professor McGonagall. She appeared not to notice them. Her hair had come down, and there was a gash in her cheek. As she turned the corner, they heard her scream, Charge! Harry, you get the cloak on, said Hermione. Never mind us. But he threw it over all three of them, large though they were. He doubted anyone would see their disembodied feet through the dust that clogged the air, the falling stone, and the shimmer of spells. They ran down the next staircase and found themselves in a corridor full of duelers. The portrait on either side of the fighters were crammed with figures screaming advice and encouragement, while Death Eaters, both masked and unmasked, dueled students and teachers. Dean had won himself a wand, and he was face to face with Dolohov, Pavati with Travers. Harry, Ron, and Hermione raised their wands at once, ready to strike, but the duels were weaving and darting around so much that there was a strong likelihood of hurting their own side as they cast curses. Even as they stood braced, looking for the opportunity to act, there came a great whee, and looking up, Harry saw Peeves zooming over them, dropping Snargaloff pods down onto the Death Eaters, whose heads were suddenly engulfed in wriggling green tubers like fat worms. Lindsay, hello, love, good to see you. Alana, hello, good to see you, welcome in. Welcome, welcome, friends. Good to see you all. Lindsay, thank you for the rose. Tips to the tavern keeper always appreciated. Paranoid to Outside Party, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. You've marked this on your map. You should be able to find your way back the next time you seek a story. Okay. Good night, Castle. I'm heading out for a drive, refueling. Now the fuel prices are rising by 50%. Stay safe. Good night, Esther. Drive safely. I hope you have a good drive, wherever you're headed out to. A fistful of tubers hit the cloak over Ron's head, and the slimy green roots were suspended improbably in midair. As Ron tried to shake them loose, "Someone's invisible there!" shouted a masked Death Eater, pointing. Dean made the most of the Death Eater's momentary distraction and knocked him with a stunning spell. Dolohov attempted to retaliate, and Bavati got a good body-binding curse to him. "Let's go!" Harry yelled, and he, Ron, and Hermione gathered the cloak tightly around themselves and pelted head down through the midst of the fighting, slipping in little pools of Snargleguff juice. Toward the top of the marble staircase into the entrance hall. I'm Draco. I'm on your side." Draco was on the upper landing, pleading with another masked Death Eater. Harry stunned the Death Eater as they passed. Malfoy looked around, beaming for his savior, and Ron punched him from under the cloak. Malfoy fell backwards on top of the Death Eater, his mouth bleeding, utterly bemused. "And that's the second time we've saved your life tonight, you two-faced bastard," Ron yelled. And there were more duelers all over the stairs and the hall. Death Eaters everywhere, Harry looked. Yaxley close to the front doors, and combat with Flitwick, a masked Death Eater dueling Kingsley right beside them. Students ran in every direction, some carrying or dragging injured friends. Harry directed a stunning spell toward a masked Death Eater. It missed, but it nearly hit Neville, who had emerged from nowhere brandishing armfuls of venomous tentacula, which looped itself happily around the nearest Death Eater and began reeling him in. Harry, Ron, and Hermione sped down the marble staircase. Glass shattered on their left, and the Slytherin hourglass that had recorded house points spilled its emeralds everywhere, so that people slipped and staggered as they ran. 2 bodies fell from the balcony overhead as they reached the ground, and a grey blur that Harry took for an animal sped 4-legged across the hall to sink its teeth into one of the fallen. "No!" shrieked Hermione with a deafening blast from her wand. Fenrir Greyback was thrown backwards from the feebly stirring body of Lavender Brown. He hit the marble banister, struggled to return to his feet, and then with a bright white flash and a crack, a crystal ball fell on top of his head, and he crumpled to the ground and did not move. "I have more!" shrieked Professor Trelawney from over the banister. "More for any who want them! Here!" And with a movement like a tennis serve, she heaved another enormous crystal sphere from her bag, waved her wand through the air, and caused the ball to speed across the hall and smash through the window at the same time. "Oh, His Highness Norcalius is in. It looks like we're having... Hang on. We're having some connection issues. I don't know if things are going to drop off. I just noticed that TikTok is having a connection issue, so give me just a second, friends. Hopefully it's not affecting everything, but it looks like it might be. Okay, looks like we reconnected. No, we haven't. Hang on. Okay, maybe we did. Alright, looks like it fixed itself. Let's get a shout out for His Highness King Norcalius. Welcome in, Raiders. Okay, alright, looks like everything caught back up, we're good. Ashley, are we back live over on the TikTok portal? Already done. But thank you, Frost. I appreciate you. Let's get a toot on the raid horn for His Highness and the members of the kingdom. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome in, friends. You came in right as technical difficulties started happening. But Your Highness, how were things in the kingdom this fine eve? Ashley, let me know when you can hear me, because I'm getting readings on the mic. So let me know when you can hear me again, if you can hear me at all. All right, we're still good on the Facebook portal. Good. Everything seems to be all right. Did his Highness drop in and then just? I didn't even see him leave a message. Did he? He dropped in and he's not been in the chat yet. All right. Well, YouTube is good. Okay, excellent, friends. I appreciate you. The only one that seems to be having issues is TikTok. I need to go void for a few minutes. I'll be right back. That's all right, Chopsticks. Do what you need to do. That's the one I don't have. It's all right. It's all right. Ashley is over barkeeping, so okay. Well, no, because Stephanie's also not getting sound. Well, nah, she can't even hear me. Let me make sure. Yeah, for some reason, again, the internet decided to glitch out for a minute. We'll switch to you, and then switch back and see if that helps. I don't know. No sound. Okay. Sorry, friends. I'm on YouTube now. Okay. I'm gonna end over on TikTok for a minute, and then we'll just bring it right back up. Okay, well, we'll see if that helped us at all. I'm still awake. Excellent, Darren. Excellent. All right. Give me just a second, friends. I'm gonna check on something, and then I will be right back. Give me just 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay. Do we have sound, my friends? Also, I brought Sleepy Milo for everybody. Because he's, Say hello to everybody, doofus. No, what are you doing? Say hi. Say hi. He was napping. He's not supposed to be napping. Okay, excellent. Sound is back. Good. Yeah, he needed to be woken up because otherwise he's a bit of a menace at night. But look how big he is. Look how big those paws are. He's a big old menace, he is. But he was napping, and now he doesn't want to be awake. And I figured I'd bring everybody in. I know, look at him. Look how big he is. Look how long this guy is. He's massive. He's an absolute unit. He's not even done growing yet. He's not even a year old. He's a bango, and he's not even done growing. And he's so sleepy. He wants to be napping right now, but he's not supposed to, because if he naps right now, then he'll be awake and he'll be a menace later on. But he's such a sleepy kitty. Look at him. Stop with the airplane ears. Stop there. Stop there. Stephanie, thank you for the awesome. I appreciate it for that. Thank you kindly. Yeah, he is a big old lazy boy, that's for sure. His favorite thing to do is lay on mom and make her not move. That's his favorite pastime. Yeah, we're usually about like 20 to 60 seconds behind on YouTube or Facebook for some reason, but alright. Yeah, he's probably gonna get to grow another 2 or 3 pounds, and he'll probably get another inch or two longer. He's insane. Everyone on Twitch, I don't follow the chat much when he's reading. I don't intend to be... That's alright, Belinda, that's alright. Berserker of Valhalla, welcome in. Love your video. Well, thank you kindly, I appreciate you. Again, for all the new folk, I'm Castle, this is my tavern, and here we talk about myth and lore and tales of yore. Every now and again, I read you all a bedtime story. Tonight, we are reading Harry Potter. We are on chapter 32. We had a bit of technical difficulties, so I had to sort that out. It's all been sorted, though. But you have stumbled through a door at the end of the world where all stories eventually come to rest in our little tavern here. If you want the most chatting that goes on, that's over on the Twitch portal. But you can come in through any of the 5 portals. We have Kick, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. And they're all good fun. Back just in time to see Milo. Yep, you made it just in time. He is absolutely massive. I'm learning more about Norse mythology. Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. And whenever you guys tell me that you actually learn things when you come in for story time, that means the world to me. As I would not by any means classify myself as a teacher, but I am but a humble storyteller and tavern keeper. So when you guys not only enjoy them, but you learn something from them, it means I'm doing a very good job, and I appreciate that kind of compliment. A compliment that doesn't seek to flatter, but still makes me blush like a schoolgirl anyways. Alright friends, let's get back into the story. Yeah, well, and a lot of these stories, like, they get put into something in, like, a book or in Hollywood, and then they sort of get run with, and a lot of them are, like, academic theories, right? Like, the hallucinogenic mushroom thing was like a Swedish research paper that was done back in, like, the 1980s or something, and it had virtually no grounds behind it, but it became, like, this really widespread thing, like, oh, researchers are looking into this thing, therefore it is true. But they've not really found any evidence of it. Like, there's a little bit of evidence here and there that these hallucinogenic mushrooms were used for things, but usually not in the way that we see them depicted in popular media. You did teach me more about that I didn't know. Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. Joker, welcome back, my friend. I have my kitty with me too. The cats only like being around me when I'm asleep because I don't like being around them when I'm awake. When is that's a good question. We've been on for a bit. We probably have we got about 20 minutes. We can do a little bit more reading. Oral history is all we have before the written words. The storytellers are fair enough, Bobby. Fair enough. Oh, we're just fixing some technical difficulties, Joker. Perhaps not a teacher, but I would say an educator, Castle. Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. You are a facilitator of knowledge. I like that. It's got more syllables in it. A facilitator of knowledge. Drop my phone on Chip. Well, that's not very nice, Milu. Don't drop things on Chip. I need that on my tax return, right? Alright, where were we? Screams of terror rent the air, the fighters scattered. Death Eaters and Hogwartians alike, and red and green jets of light flew into the midst of the oncoming monsters, which shuddered and reared. Oh, at the same moment, the heavy wooden doors burst open and more gigantic spiders forced their way into the entrance hall. Screams of terror rent the air, the fighters scattered. Death Eaters and Hogwartians alike, and red and green jets of light flew into the midst of oncoming monsters, which shuddered and reared more terrifying than ever. How do we get out now? Yelled Ron over all the screaming, but before either Harry or Hermione could answer, they were bowled aside. Hagrid had come thundering down the stairs, brandishing his flowery pink umbrella. Don't you hurt him! Don't hurt him! He yelled. Hagrid, no! Harry forgot everything else. He sprinted out from under the cloak, running bent double to avoid curses illuminating the whole hall. Hagrid, come back! But he was not even halfway to Hagrid when he saw it happen. Hagrid vanished amongst the spiders, and with a great scurrying, a foul swarming movement, they retreated under the onslaught of spells, Hagrid buried in their midst. Hagrid! Harry heard someone calling his own name, whether friend or foe he did not know. He was sprinting down the front steps, into the dark grounds, with... What are you doing? Stop it. And spiders were swarming away with their prey, and he could see nothing of Hagrid at all. Hagrid! He thought he could make out an enormous arm waving in the midst of the spider swarm, but as he made to chase after them, his way was impeded by a monumental foot, which swung down out of the darkness and made the ground on which it stood shudder. He looked up. A giant stood before him, 20 feet high, its head hidden in shadow, nothing but its tree-like, hairy shins illuminated by the light of the castle door. With one brutal, fluid movement, it smashed a massive fist through the upper window of the glass, and it rained down upon Harry, forcing him back under the shelter of the doorway. Oh my! Shrieked Hermione, as she and Ron caught up with Harry and gazed upward at the giant now trying to seize people through the window above. Don't! Ron yelled, grabbing Hermione's hand as she raised her wand. Stun him and he'll crush half the castle. I got her! Grop came lurching around the corner of the castle. Only now did Harry realize that Grop was indeed an undersized giant. The gargantuan monster trying to crush people on the upper floors looked around and let out a roar. The stone steps trembled as he stomped toward his smaller kin, and Grop's lopsided mouth fell open, showing yellow, half-brick-sized teeth. And then they launched themselves at each other like with the savagery of lions. Run! Harry roared. The night was full of hideous yells and blows as the giants wrestled, and he seized Hermione's hand and tore down the steps into the grounds, Ron's bringing up the rear. Harry had not lost hope of finding and saving Hagrid. He ran as fast as they were He ran so fast they were halfway to the forest before they were brought up short again. The air around him had frozen, had his breath caught and solidified in his chest. Shapes moved out of the darkness, swirling figures of concentrated blackness, moving in great waves towards the castle, their faces hooded and their breath rattling. Ron and Hermione closed in beside him as the sounds of fighting behind them grew suddenly muted. Deadened because of the silence only Dementors could bring, was falling thickly through the night, and Fred was gone, and Hagrid was surely dying or already dead. "Come on, Harry," said Hermione's voice from a very long way away. "Patronus, Harry, come on!" He raised his wand, but a dull hopelessness was spread through him. How many more lay dead that he did not know about? He felt as though his soul had already left his body. "Hurry! Come on!" Milo, stop it. This cat. Stop it. Yes, facilitator of knowledge sounds great. Okay, look. Alright, I don't think I've missed anything else. Wonderful. Let's see, how much longer do we have? I'm going to go ahead and run ads again for the folks over on Twitch. I apologize for everyone who's new. We do 3 minutes of these every hour so that Twitch doesn't interrupt us with him. I'm going to go and smack the cat because he's messing things up. I'll be right back. Well, most of you are still going to be able to hear me. I'm going to mute, so you won't be able to hear me. Alright, I returned. All hail the chair. Can't leave for 3 seconds without you guys starting a chair cult ceremony. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne was a legend, that's for sure. Give the sermon of the chair. Okay. We got 40 seconds left. His music was amazing. He was an interesting guy, too. He's one of those people, there were a lot of, like, misconceptions about who he was and what he did when he was alive. And he was really just sort of a big old softy when all was said and done. Bear still wants googly eyes for the chair. If I put googly eyes on the chair, you guys will never even need me. talked to the chair the whole time. All right. Looks like we are back from ads. Let's continue. 100 Dementors were advancing, gliding towards them, sucking their way closer to Harry's despair, which was like a promise of a feast. He saw Ron's silver terrier burst into the air, flicker feebly, and expire. He saw Hermione's otter twist in midair and fade. His own wand trembled in his hand, and he almost welcomed the oncoming oblivion. The promise of nothing, of no feeling, and then a silver hare, a boar and a fox, soared past Harry, Ron, and Hermione's heads. The Dementors fell back before the creature's approach. 3 more people had arrived out of the darkness, to stand beside them, their wands outstretched, continuing to cast their Patronuses, Luna, Ernie, and Seamus.
"That's right,"
said Luna encouragingly, as if they were back in the room of requirement and this was simply spell practice for the DA.
"That's right. Come on, Harry. Think of something happy."
Something happy, he said, his voice cracked.
"We're all still here,"
she whispered.
"We're still fighting. Come on now."
There was a silver spark, and then a wavering light, and then, with the greatest effort it had ever cost him, the stag burst from the end of Harry's wand. It cantered forward, and now the Demented scatters in earnest. And immediately the night was mild again, but the sounds of the surrounding battle were loud in his ears. "Can't thank you enough," said Ron shakily, turning to Luna, Ernie, and Seamus. "You just saved." With a roar and an earth-quaking tremor, another giant came lurching out of the darkness from the direction of the forest, brandishing a club taller than any of them. "Run!" Harry shouted, but the others needed no telling. They all scattered, and not a second too soon. The next moment the creature's vast foot had fallen exactly where they had been standing. Harry looked round. Ron and Hermione were following him, but the other 3 had vanished back into the battle. "Let's get out of range!" yelled Ron as the giant swung its club again, and its bellows echoed through the night across the grounds, where bursts of red and green light continued to illuminate the darkness. "The Whomping Willow!" said Harry. "Go!" Somehow he walled it all up in his mind, crammed it into a small space into which he could not now look. Thoughts of Fred and Hagrid, and his terror for all the people he loved, scattered in and outside the castle, must all wait because they had to run. They had to reach the snake and Voldemort. Because that was, as Hermione said, the only way to end it. He sprinted, half believing he could outdistance death itself, ignoring the jets of light flying in the darkness all around him, and the sound of the lake crashing like the sea. The creaking of the forbidden forest, though the night was windless, through the grounds that seemed themselves to have risen in rebellion. He ran rather faster than he had ever moved in his life, and it was he who saw the great tree first. The willow that protected the secret at its roots, with whip-like slashing branches. Panting and gasping, Harry slowed down, skirting the willow's swiping branches, peering through the darkness towards the thick trunk, trying to see the single knot on the bark of the old tree that would paralyze it. Ron and Hermione caught up. Hermione so out of breath she could not speak. How are you gonna get in?" panted Ron. "I can see the place if we just Crookshanks again."
"Crookshanks?"
wheezed Hermione, bent double, clutching her chest.
"Are you a wizard, or what?"
"Oh, yeah, right." Ron looked around and then directed his wand at a twig on the ground and said, "Wingardium Leviosa," and he said it right this time. The twig flew up from the ground and spun through the air as if caught by a gust of wind, then zoomed directly at the trunk, through the willow's ominously swaying branches, and jabbed at the place near the roots, and at once The writhing tree became still.
Perfect!
Panted Hermione. Wait. For one teetering second, while the crashes and booms of the battle filled the air, Harry hesitated. Voldemort wanted him to do this, wanted him to come. Was he leading Ron and Hermione into a trap? But then the reality seemed to close upon him, cruel and plain. The only way forward was to kill the snake, and the snake was there, where Voldemort was. And Voldemort was at the end of this tunnel. Harry, we're coming. Just get in there, said Ron, pushing him forward. Harry wriggled into the earthy passage, hidden in the tree's roots. It was a much tighter squeeze than it had been the last time he had entered. The tunnel was low-ceilinged. They had had to double up and move through it nearly 4 years previously. Now there was nothing to do but to crawl. Harry went first, his wand illuminated, expecting at any moment to meet barriers, but none came. They moved in silence, Harry's gaze fixed upon the swinging beam of the wand in his fist. At last the tunnel began to slope upward, and Harry saw a sliver of light ahead. Hermione hugged at his ankles.
The cloak, she whispered. Put on the cloak.
He groped around behind him, and she forced the bundle of slippery cloth onto his free hand. And with difficulty he dragged it over himself and murmured, "Knots," extinguishing his wand light, and continued on his hands and knees as silently as possible, all his senses straining, expecting every second to be discovered, to hear the cold, clear voice, to see a flash of green light. And then he heard voices coming from the room directly ahead of him, only slightly muffled by the fact that the opening at the end of the tunnel had been blocked up by what looked like an old crate. Hardly daring to breathe, Harry edged right up to the opening and peered through a tiny gap left between the crate and the wall. The room was dimly lit, but he could see Nagini swirling and coiling like a serpent underwater, safe in her enchanted starry sphere, which floated unsupported mid-air. He could see the edge of a table and a long-fingered white hand toying with a wand. Then Snape spoke, and Harry's heart lurched. Snape was inches away from where he crouched hidden. "My lord, the resistance is crumbling."
"And it is doing so without your help,"
said Voldemort in his high, clear voice.
"Skilled wizard though you are, Severus, I do not think you will make much difference now. We are almost there. Almost."
"Let me find the boy. Let me bring you Potter. I know I can find him, my lord, please." Snape strode past the gap, and Harry drew back a little, keeping his eye fixed upon Nagini, wondering whether there was any spell that might penetrate the protection surrounding her. But he could not think of anything. One failed attempt, and he would give away his position. Voldemort stood up. Harry could see him now, see the red eyes and the flattened serpentine face, the pallor of him gleaming slightly in the semi-darkness.
"I have a problem, Severus,"
said Voldemort softly. "My lord," said Snape. Voldemort raised the elder wand, holding it as delicately and precisely as a conductor's baton.
"Why doesn't it work for me, Severus?"
In the silence, Harry imagined he could hear the snake hissing slightly as it coiled and uncoiled. Or was it Voldemort's sibilant sigh lingering on the air? My lord?" said Snape blankly. "I don't understand. You have performed extraordinary magic with that wand."
"No,"
said Voldemort.
"I have performed my usual magic. I am extraordinary. But this wand, no, it has not revealed the wonders it has promised. I feel no difference between this one and the wand I procured from Ollivander all those years ago.
Voldemort's tone was musing and calm, but Harry's scar began to throb and pulse. Pain was building in his forehead, and he could feel the controlled sense of fury building inside. Gifting suspended and live visibility restricted. Behavior not in line with our policies. Gifting is suspended alive for 10 minutes. Reason: inorganic gift solicitation. I haven't said anything about gifting. What? Additionally, this live is restricted in recommendations and search results for this period. What? TikTok just said I was soliciting gifts over on TikTok. Out of your damn mind, I did no such thing. Absolutely ridiculous. What do you mean? I do the exact opposite of soliciting gifts. What a ridiculous thing. It's alright. It's alright. It is what it is. We all know TikTok has grievance with us for some reason. TikTok doesn't like stories. That's the problem. Right? I get in trouble with the regulars for not soliciting gifts. And I was reading. What do they mean? Alright, let's continue. I'm just glad it didn't boot us off. TikTok trying to kick... Not even trying to kick us off. They accused me of soliciting gifts in a way that goes against their terms of service. No, TikTok accused me of going against the terms of service and soliciting gifts from people. I did no such thing. The Irish guy is soliciting Harry Potter thing. Apparently, I don't know. Such a weird thing to have happened. This is why I hate these AI things that are taking over everything. Like, AI has its purposes. I'm not anti-AI. But these AI moderation tools are ridiculous. Like, they don't work, they never work well, and more often than not, they cause more problems than they solve. But mostly they cause problems for creators, not so much for viewers. But yet there are people that do and they don't say anything. Yeah, most of the people who are on TikTok Live are just on here begging for money. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Alright, I'm not gonna keep bitching about it. I'm back down. Nose back down. Well, I've commented several times tonight, but they vanished like ghosts. I responded to what you said, Esther. I think you're just not listening very well. I think that's the problem. I think you're ignoring me. I think you're upset with me and you're ignoring my responses. I think I'm the ghost. Would you like me to trigger a rant for you? No, it's alright, Chopstick. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Yeah. You're confusing the heck out of me. Alright, where was I? Voldemort's tone was... Okay, I already read that.
No difference,
said Voldemort again. Snape did not speak. Harry could not see his face. He wondered whether Snape sensed danger. Was trying to find out the right words to reassure his master. Voldemort started to move around the room and Harry lost sight of him for seconds as he prowled, speaking in that same measured voice while the pain and fury mounted in Harry.
I thought long and hard, Severus. Do you know why I've called you back from the battle?
And for a moment Harry saw Snape's profile. His eyes were fixed upon the coiling snake in its enchanted cage. No, my lord, but I beg you, let me return. Let me find Potter.
You sound like Lucius. Neither of you understands Potter as I do. He does not need finding. Potter will come to me. I know his weakness, you see. His one great flaw. He will hate watching others struck down around him, knowing that it is for him that it happens. He will want to stop it at any costs. He will come.
But my lord, He might be killed accidentally by one other than yourself.
My instructions to my Death Eaters have been perfectly clear. Capture Potter. Kill his friends. The more the better. But do not kill him.
But it is of you that I wish to...
But it is of you that I wish to speak, Severus, not Harry Potter. You have been very valuable to me. Very valuable.
My lord knows I seek only to serve him. But let me go and find the boy, my lord. Let me bring him to you. I know I can.
I have told you no,
said Voldemort, and Harry caught a glint of red in his eyes as he turned again. And the swishing of his cloak was like the slithering of a snake. And he felt Voldemort's impatience in his burning scar.
My concern at the moment, Severus, is what will happen when I finally meet the boy.
My lord, there can be no question, surely.
But there is a question, Severus. There is.
Voldemort halted, and Harry could see him plainly again as he slid the old wand through his white fingers, staring at Snape.
Why did the wands I have used fail when directed at Harry Potter?
I cannot answer that, my lord.
Can't you?
A stab of rage felt like a spike driven through Harry's head. He forced his own fist into his mouth to stop himself from crying out in pain. He closed his eyes, and suddenly he was Voldemort, looking into Snape's pale face.
My wand!
Hang on, we have a weird song playing that's not exactly the vibe. The merriest time... No, yeah, it's not right. It's not a merry time. Molly Sue, good night, rest well. Arthur Christie, hello and welcome in. I'm glad I looked up. Molly Sue, rest well. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Let's go ahead and get Arthur Christie and her friends a toot on the red horn. Here we go, friends. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. So very glad that you could join us. I'm more concerned about fuel going up. Yeah, it is a heck of a thing. Did we get a shout out for Arthur Christie? We did not. Do I have any barkeeps in who can do that for me? Yeah, if music does it. Thank you, Frost. I appreciate you, brother. Arthur Christie and all of her little badgers, welcome in, my friends. So very glad that you could join us. For any of you who are new to the tavern, I am Castle. This is my tavern. Here we talk about myth and lore and tales of yore, and every now and again I read you all a story. Tonight we are reading from Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. We are on chapter 32. What we do is we will read through a chapter or two, we'll talk about the storytelling aspects of a book, and then we do what we call waffling, which is where we just chat for a very, very long, extended time about a variety of things. I am Castle, and my lovely wife Una is across from me, and we run the tavern together, and this is a place at the end of the world where all stories eventually come to rest. Wish it was for rest. Time for the second half of my weird shift. Oh, I'm sorry, Molly. I hope you have a good rest of your night anyways. Rebecca, good to see you back. This is where you usually see me raiding from. We don't usually overlap like we did yesterday. Well, I'm very glad to see you both days, Rebecca. It's wonderful to have you back in. I hope that, Christy, I hope that your stream went well. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. on... That is a very weird schedule. Una needs to make her special waffles for the tavern. That's true. It's been so long since she's given you all the story. She's been neglecting you all. I shall chastise her vehemently on all of your behalfs. You can tell she's very worried by the way that she's not worried at all. I spoil her too much. She's never worried about getting in trouble. Ryan, hello, good evening, my friend. Welcome in. So very glad that you could join us. Grab a seat. We're, let's see, I don't know how much more of this chapter we have left. Let's see. We only have 2 pages left in this chapter. And then I don't know if we're going to do another chapter tonight. We might. We'll see. We might do a long day on... hang on, let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters left. 5 chapters left and 64 pages. So we'll probably do a long day Thursday and then we'll do a shorter day on Sunday. War in the Middle East is fuel. Prices rise by 50% at the end of this week. It would, but we don't really drive all that much. Fuel is incredibly expensive out here, but we try not to drive too much, so... Ray says, hi, sir, greetings from the Philippines. Welcome in. Yeah, I don't know why. There are a couple of just random, weird, themed songs in this playlist. They just pop up. And they're, yeah, it's very strange. Ray, welcome in. So glad that you could join us all the way out from the Philippines. Hello, hello. We might do another chapter today. I want you guys to be able to do the movie still tonight. So we may do 3 chapters on Thursday and then 2 chapters on Sunday. That way we'll still be able to do all of the movies. Because on Sunday we're going to be doing part 2 of Deathly Hallows, the film. So I want to make sure you guys have time for everything and that the movies aren't being put on too late. If we finish Harry Potter on Sunday, the following Sunday will be the start of the readathon, Esther. So it'll be put on all of the calendars for all of the different places once we know that for sure. So I think that on Thursday, because the next chapter is another 20 pages, but then the chapter after that is only 10, and the chapter after that is only 12. So I think we can do... yeah, we can do 40 pages on Thursday. We'll just have a long day on Thursday. And then Saturday or Sunday will be a little bit shorter. Excellent, Esther. Sounds good. Alright, let's continue. We're almost done with this chapter. Where was I?
Ollivander told me under torture of the twin cores, told me to take another's wand. I did so, but Lucius's wand shattered upon meeting Potter's.
I have no explanation, my lord. Snape was not looking at Voldemort now. His dark eyes were still fixed upon the coiling serpent in its protective sphere.
I saw the third wand, Severus. The Elder Wand. The Wand of Destiny. The Death Stick. I took it from its previous master. I took it from the grave of Albus Dumbledore.
And now Snape looked at Voldemort, and his face was like a death mask. What do you mean? Gifting suspended... Say this again. This behavior is not in line with our policies. Gifting is suspended in this live. Reason inorganic gift solicitation. Additionally, this live is restricted in recommendations and search results. What do you mean? You're ridiculous. Hang on a second, guys. This is insane. TikTok is being dumb. Yeah, my content does not contain what you mentioned. Yeah, whenever I look up, TikTok's trying to throw me off. Insane. I'm wondering if somebody is reporting it or if it's just the AI getting it wrong. Wild. Absolutely wild. Okay. Continuing. And now Snape looked at Voldemort, and Snape's face was like a death mask. It was marble white and so still that when he spoke, it was a shock to see that anyone lived behind the blank eyes. "My lord, let me go and get the boy."
"All this long night, when I'm on the brink of victory, I've sat here,"
said Voldemort, his voice barely louder than a whisper.
wondering why the Elder Wand refuses to be what it ought to be, refuses to perform as Lesin says it must perform for its rightful owner. And I think I have the answer."
Snape did not speak.
"Perhaps you already know it. You are a clever man, after all, Severus. You have been a good and faithful servant, and I regret what must happen."
"My lord."
"The Elder Wand cannot serve me properly, Severus, because I am not its true master. The Elder Wand belongs to the wizard who killed its last owner. You killed Albus Dumbledore. While you live, Severus, the Elder Wand cannot truly be mine."
"My lord," Snape protested, raising his wand.
"It cannot be any other way,"
said Voldemort.
"I must master the wand, Severus. Master the wand, and I master Potter at last."
And Voldemort swiped the air with the Elder Wand. It did nothing to Snape, who, for a split second, seemed to think he had been reprieved. But then Voldemort's intention became clear. The snake's cage was rolling through the air, and before Snape could do anything more than yell, it had encased him, head and shoulders, and Voldemort spoke in Parseltongue.
"Kill!"
There was a terrible scream, and Harry saw Snape's face losing the little color it had left. It whitened as his black eyes widened, as the snake's fangs pierced his neck, as he failed to push the enchanted cage off of himself, and as his knees gave way, and he fell to the floor.
"I regret it,"
said Voldemort coldly. He turned away, and there was no sadness in him, no remorse. It was time to leave this shack and take charge, with a wand that would now do his full bidding. He pointed it at the starry cage holding the snake, which drifted upward, off of Snape, who fell sideways onto the floor, blood gushing from the wound in his neck. Voldemort swept from the room with a backward glance, and the great serpent floated after him in its huge protective sphere. Back in the tunnel and his own mind, Harry opened his eyes. He had drawn blood biting down on his knuckle, and in an effort not to shout, now he was looking through the tiny crack between the floor and the wall, watching a foot in a black boot trembling on the floor.
Harry,
Breathed Hermione behind him, but he had already pointed his wand at the crate blocking his view. It lifted an inch into the air and drifted sideways silently. As quietly as he could, he pulled himself up into the room. He did not know why he was doing it, why he was approaching the dying man, why he did not know what he felt as he saw Snape's white face, and the fingers trying to staunch the blood wound in his neck. Harry took off the invisibility cloak and looked down upon the man he hated, whose widening black eyes found Harry and tried to speak. Harry bent over him, and Snape seized the front of his robe, pulling him forward. A terrible, rasping, gurgling noise issued from Snape's throat.
"Take it!
Take it.
Take it!"
Something more than blood was leaking from Snape. Silvery blue, neither gas nor liquid. It gushed from his mouth and his ears and his eyes, and Harry knew what it was, but did not know what to do. A flask conjured from thin air was thrust into his shaking hand by Hermione. Harry lifted the silvery blue substance onto his wand, and when the flask was full to the brim, Snape looked as though there was no blood left in him. His grip on Harry's robe slackened. "Look at me," he whispered. The green eyes found the black. But after a second, something in the depths of the dark pair seemed to vanish, leaving them fixed, blank and empty. The hand holding Harry thudded to the floor, and Snape moved no more. And so ends chapter 32 of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And it seems like we're going to get that backstory from Snape. So this is the Harold Potts and Severe Snaps. Hey Shay, how you doing? TikTok has been acting funky today for me as a whole, so it may just be glitchy. TikTok is just being a bit of a bastard in the overall. It's giving me two warnings. I don't mind that it is suspending gifts because the gifts on TikTok are ridiculously expensive. Anyways, like they charge you guys 50% of what the things cost just to buy them and send them. But it is ludicrous that they keep causing these problems. This was better in the books by far. Plays taps. I'm just renaming characters, don't mind me. So like if you buy a gift that is like $10, you'll pay like $12 for that gift. So it's not strictly 50%, like but it's too much. Is it?
Like whenever they pay for it, you get half.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
TikTok's the worst.
Well, and that's why I always say, like, if you guys really want to give anything to the tavern, tipping directly, going to like Patreon or something like that, is really the better way to do it because they take so much of your guys' money to send those things. And while it does help us to like get in the favor of the platforms if people are buying subs and things like that, I really don't care. I don't want you guys wasting your money on those things. It's far. I feel far better if you guys like tip directly, buy things from the tavern shop, or go to something like Patreon where we willingly give Patreon 5% of what we earn so that they manage like advertising and security and things like that. It's ludicrous. TikTok and Facebook and even Twitch is ridiculously expensive with how much they take out of all of the things you guys send. So I misremember this chapter. The chapter I thought it was for some reason was earlier. Wait, which chapter did you think it was, Bethany? I will be buying things off the tavern once I take my time. Don't worry about it, Aaron. I appreciate you. I love TikTok, which is again like I will forever stand TikTok because TikTok is where the tavern started. I love TikTok as a platform. I hate the way that it is managed and the things that they do. Like, there's absolutely no reason why they should be charging more than 10% for the gifts that like 10% is more than enough, especially with how many ads and all the TikTok shop stuff that they push. More than 10% is insane. Well, friends, this next chapter is quite long, I think. This next chapter is 21 pages. So if we do another chapter, we won't be able to do a movie tonight. So you guys tell me, do we want to continue our movie marathon? Or do we want to do another chapter? Because regardless, we're going to get all of these chapters done this week. Yeah, like even with bits, like when you guys buy bits on No, that's all right. So again, I never want anybody to feel pressured like they have to do anything. But like when you buy bits on Twitch, you end up like if you spend $1, you're spending $1.20 to buy bits, which is insane. And if you spend $5 on a sub, we get $2.50 of it. Now, if we are getting more, like we have more people who are subscribed and who are paying for it, they give us a higher percentage, which makes sense as like an incentive to get people to do it. But it's still 50% is insane. A movie so I can fall asleep. I was thinking this was the one Voldemort got the Elder One from Dumbledore's grave. I don't know why I thought that. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a good chapter. Like, that was really interesting. But the next one is where we're getting, it seems, Snape's backstory, as it is titled The Prince's Tale. So it's going to be interesting. I'll support you by being an active member, which, if you actually look at it, it's one of the most valuable ways you can give back to any. Yeah, if you are and I say this all the time, the best way you can support creators that you like, watch videos all the way through, like them, comment, and share them. And you do that, especially long videos. Like if you watch a 20-minute video on YouTube, that is ridiculously valuable to creators. I would never ask you guys to just go and watch my stuff just to support, because I want you guys to only do it if you're enjoying it. But every time you watch a video or you share it or you engage in comment and share like the things and share them with your friends, that is incredibly valuable. So being an active member of the community and enjoying the things, that is what I care about more than anything. When I have things that are valuable, we have books and when we have and merchandise that you guys enjoy, I love that you guys like those things enough to buy them. But I would rather you guys take the time and enjoy the different story times that we put out. That's what means the most to me. And that's what I really care about. I'm so behind on YouTube with everyone I follow. It can seem like a full-time job sometimes, can it, Shane? Castle, if I had the money, I would gladly prefer you receive 100% of the tips. Elsie and I really enjoy your stories. Well, thank you, Elsie. I do appreciate it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be here. Fair enough, Bobby. Fair enough. And yeah, that's the thing. Like Patreon, we get 95% of that. We willingly give them 5% to handle like certain logistical things for us. And then Gilded used to give us 97% for the members who were in Gilded, but obviously we lost Gilded. We don't have that anymore. Discord used to have something similar, but they don't have it anymore. They got rid of it. Now I barely go on Twitch. No offense to the Twitch peeps. No, it's all right, Ray. I used to do that, but I was dropping more than $50 per month on Twitch, which is a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's why, like, if people really just want no ads on Twitch, I say go for Turbo. Turbo is a fair value. It's like YouTube Red. You get no ads. I really wish they would stop pushing all of these pay for things because it's ridiculous and people have so much to pay for already. I'm just happy when I can be here, and we're always thrilled when you can make it. Always thrilled when you can make it, Bobby. Well, friends, I think that this is where we are going to end up then. What do you guys say we start movie night tonight at 9 o'clock? So 25 minutes over in... have you seen the video on enshittification from... I have not, Shay. That's interesting, no. I try to keep all my donations as a one-time transaction. Monthly payments give me anxiety. Yeah, no, which is fair enough, nobody. Because again, there's so many subscriptions and so many other things. It's why, like, if people are like, hey, I love what you guys do, but I don't want to spend. I get it. I don't like having all of these different subscriptions, like, just to keep our business afloat, just for the things we have to pay for the work that we do, for like our editing and the stock video and music sites. The lady and I pay almost $300 a month in subscriptions right now for the things for work. So it's crazy. It's a crazy amount of money for the different things that are just required for us to keep the tavern running. Alright, Frost, have a good night, brother. Yeah, we're going to end up here, friends. If you're anywhere except for Twitch, this is where we will end for tonight. If you're on Twitch, we're going to go raid out and share the love, since we had so many lovely raids from other friends and patrons of the tavern. Yeah, well, one of the biggest costs for us is music and stock footage and things like that, because it's so hard to get things like that. And like, you can find some good stuff on some sites and some good things on other sites. It's why, like, when we have a short story time and we can't find imagery, we will generate it with AI, because it's just so hard to find specific images, and it's so expensive. And we make like $3 to $5 off of every short that we put out. So it's crazy. It's incredibly expensive. Remember to watch the clip with McGonagall. I will. I appreciate you. Need to redo my Patreon stuff. Speaking of which, I have Patreon short stories coming out. Well, members. So if you're a member anywhere, if you're a member on TikTok, if you're a member on Patreon, YouTube, anywhere at the dollar, where we have short stories coming out for you guys, and then we have some recordings coming out this month too. Finally caught up. Good night, Stephanie. Good night, Ashley. Good night, Rain. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you, Alana. Good night. I appreciate you guys so much for spending the time. Thank you to all of our lovely barkeeps. 100% understand. AI has its uses, and that's a solid one. Yeah, we try to keep AI to a very minimal use, but it is a very useful tool for speeding things up. Meg, good night. Rest well. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. There's no avoiding AI. All of the major companies are using it. Disney is using it. The thing is that it should be used responsibly, and it should never replace artists. That's our stance on it. Like, we're never going to sell anything that is strictly AI generated. We're never going to make, like, when we do animation, we're not going to use AI to do it. Any of the animations that we do, they're going to be made by people. Any use that we use for AI, it's to expedite work and to streamline work. It's not to replace people. Especially not the creative aspect, because AI storytelling is okay and AI art is okay, but it's never going to have like this spirit. It always feels sort of lifeless, and it's never going to have the spirit that people put into things, people who are good at the things put into things. And we very much will always do our best to support artists and creators. But if I need a picture of Coquelin and there are no good pictures of Coquelin, it's like one of the ones that the lady did was she had Odin dressed as a cabinet member for a video that we did where I joked that he's not a member of parliament. And obviously you can't find that anywhere. So putting a little 3-second clip into 3-second image of Odin as a cabinet member as a piece of AI into a video, I'm not making any money off of that, and it's funny, and it's like, I'm not gonna spend $300 on that illustration because I'm not gonna make $300 on it. But there are plenty of people who will just like use AI to generate scripts, then use AI to generate animations, and then make videos, and they make tens of thousands of dollars a month off of the slop, and I will never ever condone that. I use it to roleplay ridiculous scenarios and laugh my butt off. Yeah, there you go. Good night, Esther. Rest well. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Castle, are you planning on movie night at 9 p.m. your time? What film will you be playing today? 9 p.m. our time, yes, so that'll be 20 minutes from now, and it'll be over in the Discord. Good night, Belinda. Rest well. Thank you for joining us. Well, I think the more free options people have to create things is good, and I think AI cannot replace a real artist, so it's for sure you get what you put in. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody. What a person on TikTok I have a sub to. She's a subscriber. First access, but everyone will eventually get everything. Maybe you can do that so free members still don't miss out. That's where we're headed. Right now I do the stuff that doesn't perform well in the algorithm at the $1 tier. For anybody who is doing $1, I do anything that won't perform well in the algorithm, I put that up. Lord Tyrannical says incredibly based. What did I say that was incredibly based? Welcome in. I'm glad that you've dropped in. Hello. Don't worry, Castle. They are not really making that much money with it either. Some of these AI slop channels make pretty good money. Like I know a guy who runs one, and he makes like $15,000 a month just making AI slop, which is crazy. It's absolutely insane. A buddy of mine who runs like a big 3 million subscriber channel. He worked for a guy who all of his stuff, their voiceovers, everything was generated by AI. And that channel makes like $30,000 a month long form videos over on YouTube. Oh yeah, the Disney and the corporations aren't making anything off of it because they don't use it right. They're losing money, if anything. You'll take on AIs and go, oh, well, thank you, Lord Tyrannical. I appreciate you saying so. I try to be leveled with everything because like there's no getting away from AI. Like so many people are investing tens of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars in it. It's not going to go away. And if we all want to keep up, we have to learn to use it as a tool. Not to replace people, but as a tool to augment the work that we do. Like the lady and I use it for like augmenting our workflows, for checking for errors. I use it to augment my research. I use Perplexity to augment research because it used to be I would have to go and pull out the books, sit down the books, flip through them, write it all in. Now I have access to online databases like Gutenberg where I can go through and I say, hey, I need this and this quote. And I know enough about it that if it's wrong, I'll be like, okay, that's not right. And I'll go and I'll grab a book and I'll check it. But it streamlines. Like my research used to take, I used to be like 3 or 4 days of research and writing for every single story. And now I can do a script for a video in an hour when it used to take me 2 or 3 days. So it streamlines a lot of things and it can be used as an augmentary tool, but it should never replace people. I use it to help me keep notes in line. Well, yeah, and see, there are a lot of useful ways to it, but it shouldn't. People are putting way too much trust and emphasis on it. It shouldn't be moderating platforms. It shouldn't be replacing people in general. Like there are some jobs that AI can probably replace, but I just don't feel good there not being a human element there. I found that AI is incredibly useful for finding hyper-specific book recommendations, or finding specific scenes in books that I can't remember what it is. Yeah, and I find it is incredibly helpful for me for remembering full quotes as well, and like what books they come from. Because I've read probably, I don't know, probably 4,000 or 5,000 books in my life, most of them academic, and I remember most of what I read, but finding specific quotes and sections and what publication, that takes forever if I have to go through all of my books and find it. Whereas if I can say, hey, where did this quote come from, and what is the specific context of it, then Perplexity can say, oh, it's this, and it's this specific publication, this page. I can then go grab it off my shelf and verify it, and then I know that it's correct, right? And that's so much faster than having to flip through 30 different publishings of a book to find the specific thing that I'm looking for. Oh, wow, that's not a link. Ignore that. I'm just having a stroke now, apparently. That's alright. Above all else, I think it should only get facts from certain sources in some... Yeah. And that's why you have to verify. Like, AI is far from perfect. And that's why, like, for someone like myself or the lady who we are well-read, we're well-educated, we've learned all of these things, it's easy for me to look at a thing that AI says to me and go, well, that's not right. And, like, I've had arguments with AI bots. I'm like, you what you're saying is incorrect. And then it'll go, oh, yeah, you're right, I am incorrect. And then, like, I'll show the references. Because AI is not very smart. It's only as smart as the sources that it's getting. Good night, quote, rest well. Okay, we're gonna go start the movie, I'm sorry. I'm rambling, we don't have time for waffles. Let's find somebody to raid. And then we'll get out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us for Storytime tonight. We'll be back again on Thursday. Thursday is going to be a long Storytime because we're going to go through 3 chapters. We're probably going to be almost 40 pages on Thursday. So be there or be square, as we would have said in the 90s. It is sad that we are parting, my friends. Castle rambling never happens. Never happens. I refuse to be slandered like this. Alright, my friends. This is going to be it for the evening. I appreciate you all for being here, and while it is sad that we are parting, we will again gather the next time you all seek a story. So, until then, I will bid you all stay bloodthirsty, and we will see you next time. Good night, my friends.